this wait, darn it, too many cords tangled up over here. Boopy doo, boop 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 boop. Oops, uppy down, upside down. Oh, there's, holy crap, holy, that's a lot of light. Oh, I'm on. Good morning, everybody. I am just going to wait for some people to arrive before I totally get started. All right. Oh, shoot. Coffee, 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 coffee. Oh, this is like dreamy. I love my grosh. I love my mocha pots. I love my mocha pots. My coffee pots. Ooh. I don't think I need that. Oh, hello. Good morning. No, okie doke. Well, I woke up a little late this morning, so I am just now getting my first cup of coffee. And I will be putting the stove away and putting out my paints shortly. I'm painting Washington today. Well, I still don't know which image I'm painting. I narrowed it down to 3 before I went to bed last night, so. Hey, Anthony! Oh! I got a question for you, Anthony. I feel like I know you. Like we've met before. Thank you. Roxanne, appreciate that. We're gonna I picked 3 different images of Washington last night, so I don't know. We'll see which one I pick. Part of my autistic brain really just wants to go in order. See, I feel like we met possibly. Are you a Jimmy Buffett fan? I used to have a business in Connecticut, and I used to be a part of this like Jimmy Buffett chat group back in the days when we chatted on AOL and all that stuff. Good morning, Maud. Yeah, I met up with a whole bunch of people before the Madison Square Garden show. Oh, okay. So you're not the person I thought you were, but that's okay. You never know. I mean, it's a large area with lots of people, but at the same time, I tend to just run into people all the time. I meet. Yeah. Oh. Well, this morning, let's see. Oh, I didn't even grab my computer. That would be helpful. Thank you. I've been What we got? I'm going to grab my computer out. This is still too hot for me to put away. Coffee, coffee, coffee. Let's get the computer. Oops. Okay. That's whoopies. Yeah, so there it is. You saw it. I only get half dressed in the morning. I'm still wearing my jammy pants. I put on a nice top. It's all right. My flannel pants are comfy in the morning here where it is still chilly in the mornings. By like in another hour, this van will be very warm. All right. Let's see what I got for today. So I picked, I don't know, I went through so much. There's so many. I picked one like super close up of a tree trunk with lots of moss on it. And then I might need to plug this in sooner than later. Okay. And another one, I'm thinking it was this little beach that I stopped at. I thought I was going to be able to work online when I went there, and then it turned out that there was no service, so not level, not comfortable, and I couldn't stay. But I took the walk down to the beach just to get some images because I was like, well, I'm here. And it was there was this super beautiful driftwood twisted piece on the beach and a leaning tree and the island in the distance or the peninsula. I don't know. I think I was on the interior, like I had come around the Olympic Peninsula and I was waiting to catch the ferry in a couple of days, and I think I was somewhere in there when I took that image. Let me pull up my pictures. Oh, I gotta go online. Ugh, I forgot. All right, guys, I gotta turn my hopefully it lets me. Let me turn my hotspot on. Hotspot is on. Yay, hotspot. Okay. Now I should be able to get this up. Bow, bow. Gotta wait for it to show up. There it is. Yes, you do have internet. Think connected. Yay! Alright. Boy, this takes me more brain power than I ever think it should. Alright. Off, off, off. I just want my photos. I know, I wanted to have all this up already, but I woke up late. I woke up at 7:15, so I'm like fresh, awake. This is I'm wording before I've even finished my first cup of coffee. I think you all should be very impressed right now. All right, let's see what I got. Favorites, because I starred all you babies. Go away. I do not like those little banners. You annoy me. Albums. But I thought favorites had its own clicky click. No? Okay, not here. I need glasses. I am so bad at remembering to put glasses on. Damn. Alright, where are my little reader babies? I know you in here somewhere. Right? I thought you were in here somewhere. I should have multiple pairs by now, just so that I don't ever lose them, but, you know, here we go. 4 eyes are better than 2. Actually, wouldn't this be considered 6? Because I got the 2, the 4, and the 6. Yeah. 6 eyes. And I also want to get a different set of readers for actually, like, reading close up, because these don't quite do it. They're great for this mid-distance. Anyway, let's see. Yeah. Camping. I want favorites. Where's my favorites folder? There it is. Okay. Ooh, I was so stoked to finish Idaho so quickly. If you haven't seen it yet, the video I put out yesterday shows you guys Packer Meadows in Idaho. Packer Meadow. Boo boo. Alright. Let me scroll. Scroll, baby, scroll. Ba-da. Ooh. We are. Oh, hello. Okay. Turns out I had a lot more Washington in here than I thought. Oh, crap, Ola. Alright. Here's the question. This is the question. I'm going to say woods, water, or mountain. Go. Woods, water, or mountain. Tell me which one you would pick. Woods, water, or mountain. Put it in the comments. Let me see. Woods, water, mountain. I want to see which one you would pick. Help me choose. Woods, water, or the mountains. Anybody? Anybody? Water, water. Oh, huh? Whoopee. Okay. Mountain, water. So he took a job as a bartender because he needed glasses? Water, mountain. Okay, guys. All right. Darn it. Ugh, my computer's restarting on me. I don't have a choice. I now have to wait. That's really obnoxious. What is your deal? Why are you doing this to me? I think I clicked something by accident. I'm really not happy now. Oh, fudge. I just had a... I usually... Now, I have no problem swearing. I'm just doing my best to curb my language at the beginnings of my lives, especially, because if they're going to monitor, they're not going to watch the whole thing, and then they can start slipping later on. But, you know, I check off the box that says not for kids. And for whatever reason, every once in a while I get a parent who's like, do you mind watching your language? My child really enjoys your videos. I'm like, your child should not be watching my videos. I am a 52-year-old woman. I am not going to curb my speech. Thank you very much. Not on purpose. I will say fudge in the context of fudge. in slow motion, like from A Christmas Story, when he's helping his dad change the tire and he accidentally drops, like topples the hubcap and the lug nuts go flying. Fudge and saltwater taffy. That's a good one. I grew up in Catholic school, so I'm always like, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. That's Sister Margaret coming out of my mouth right there. She was creepy, man. Talk about creepy. All right, let's my computer up and running again. Every once in a while, the swearing that comes from my childhood is usually, yeah. Oh, for the love of God. That gets said a lot. But see, I don't even. Oh, I'm gonna say it. I might lose people, but I don't believe in God. I believe in a collective energy. Anyway, I am done sitting up my PC. You needed to leave me be, whatever you were that decided to redo something. Okay, can I go back to work? Thank you. Talking to the computer sometimes makes me feel better. I had a friend once who reminded me that everything is energy. And so when I was like being patient with my computer and just asking it to process and keep moving forward, and I was like, I feel like I'm not talking to it. She goes, no, you're just encouraging the energy to flow. And I was like, oh, thank you. That is what I feel like I'm doing, is just moving the energy. All right, let's get back to my pictures, please. No, go away. I hate all these little pop-up notification thingies because I click on them by accident. And then they take me someplace and it takes forever for me to get back to where, oh, drives me crazy. Fine Young Cannibals. Ooh, ooh, long blonde hair. Ooh, ooh, she drives me crazy. I don't know all the words, just the ooh, ooh. Bum, 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 bum. Anyway, okay. Back to Washington, Marion. Favorites? Wow. Sorry guys, that was like an annoying little side trip. I hate these fucking pop-ups. Well, okay, there goes my ability to give a shit about swearing because the computer's acting up. So my ADHD rage is coming out right now, and I'm like, I'm gonna kill this thing. I hate having to use it as a tool. Drives me nuts. Okay, so with all of that, let's see if we got anybody else talking about. I got one vote for water and one vote for mountains. I asked woods, water, mountains, but since I already got one vote for water and one vote for mountains, let's break the tie if we gotta. Oh, well, sorry guys, I didn't mean to get all sidetracked. My technology wasn't working. All right. All right. I think that is going to be super challenging. And I don't know that I want to do that small because there's a lot of detail in it. Maybe. Do we have any? Oh, Don's not even on here yet. Darn it. I I was hoping our friend Don from Washington would be on here to help me out with this. He's not here yet. Okay. All right. Anthony, you said water, huh? Chris said mountains. I do have water and mountains somewhere in here together. There it is. Although not as much mountain, more water. We drove up at one point. A friend took me up to the top of Mount Baker, and it was like all still snow and ice melting, and we're all in tank top. It was like the weirdest feeling ever, like being up there, and it was really warm, but there's like solid ice and snow on the ground, and it was super cool. I'd never experienced that before. That was really neat. And I got a lot of images, and there's this little lake on the way up that I got a shot of. Then I have images of Rife Lake as well. This is Bellingham Harbor. That's the Hoh River. And then I have a rainforest. See what I mean? Like, just too many to choose from. And I'm feeling very scattered about my decisions. Wah, wah. I did get an amazing shot of Mount Rainier as well as I don't know if I got a shot of Baker or not. We were driving up the mountain, so I feel like I'm not sure. But I know this is Mount Rainier. It was a perfectly gorgeous, clear day. And the mountain was just yum. All right. Da, 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 da. I don't know. I kind of like this one that has the train in it, but I want that to be more of a panoramic. So I don't want to do that one. All right. Fine. Have a lot of images from the waterfall park in Bellingham. A number of them. Not a lot. A number that I really liked. It was a super crowded place. What music do I like besides Jimmy Buffett? Oh, gosh. What's the canvas on the ceiling? Oh, this is, or do you mean this one? This is my little, oh, shoot. Well, I just ripped it right off. Oops. I'll have to do something about that. Oh, well. This is Muddy Waters. He looks out for me. He's my little guardian. I got this in Clarksdale, Mississippi. I wanted so badly to get something and from one of the local artists. And I was super, super happy to be able to get my hands on this. Yeah, isn't it neat? The artist had done a whole bunch of different musicians who played in and around Clarksdale. Because, Clarksdale, Mississippi is like the Delta Blues. And the cool part about, if you ever go to the Juke Joint Festival, I highly suggest it. Actually, it just happened. It usually happens mid-April. Last year it was on the 13th. Um, the year before it was on the 15th of April, right? So it's usually like around mid-month. All right, Muddy, I'm gonna put you down. I gotta now do something about that. Okay. Um, yeah, juke joint. the if you can go the week before and then for that weekend, because the amount of musicians that don't get headlined and shown during the actual festival itself are tremendous, and they come out of the woodwork and they're playing town and all sorts of gigs all over town, on street corners, everything else. It is just, I actually I actually got a neck injury because I didn't realize that for an entire week I was just bobbing my head like constantly, like, and I didn't realize it, that I was just bobbing to a beat constantly all week long, and I ended up stressing my neck. Um, it was well worth it. The music was phenomenal. Um, yeah, so Clarksdale, Mississippi is high on my list of places to go, and the club to visit, I say, is the Bad Apple Blues Club. You got to go see Sean Apple at the Bad Apple Blues Club. He does this awesome musical history of Clarksdale, Mississippi, and the blues. He takes, because this club is right near the corner, um, where good old what's his name, whose name I can't think of, made a deal with the devil, right? Um, at the crossroads. Boom, boom, boom. Uh, yeah. Because the crossroads that they have now in Clarksdale is not the actual crossroads. The actual crossroads is in a different section of town. But they, town got moved around and redone after the war. Robert Johnson. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I was like, it begins with an R and it's a J and I can't. Thank you. Robert Johnson. So I guess that sort of tells you, like, besides Jimmy Buffett, I love listening to the blues. I love listening to my favorite, so like I'm a vocalist, so my absolute favorite vocalists would be well, number one, Ella Fitzgerald. Ella's my lady. And I love Ella, and Dinah Washington and Sarah Vaughan. Those are my voices from the past that I absolutely adore. And I love listening to Ella and Louis duets, and the music that comes along with it, all the swing jazz and big band stuff. I absolutely love it. I also listen to classical music. I listen to a lot of different kinds of music. The one thing you will not find me listening to, though, is smash metal, like super heavy metal. I can't. Um, it hurts my head. I'm one of those. I need to be able, like, because my autistic brain, I learned how to read music at such an early age that part of me, my brain wants to see the sheet, the arrangements while the music is playing. And if it's too mash, 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 um, my brain can't connect to the individual instruments and I can't orchestrate it and it gets confused and then it just shuts down. So, yeah, but I also love, and okay, so my first, like, the first group that I obsessed about was the Beatles. I was in love with the Beatles from probably around, um, it was kind of obnoxious. My brother came downstairs and told me Michael Jackson was shit and I should throw it out because I had bought the album Thriller and I loved it, and I still do. Um, but I wanted so badly to impress my older brother, so I stopped listening to Michael Jackson and became obsessed with the Beatles. Now, it wasn't a bad obsession to have. I collected all their albums. I mean, at that point, I was collecting tapes, and I was getting them through BMI. I was getting tapes that way. So I wasn't getting actual releases. They were like mock up. So didn't even have full albums, which was really a bummer. And then I found out like there were all these songs that were on these albums that if you had the original LP, you could. Anyway, I know. I'm 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 autistic. You asked me about music and now I'm rabbit holing. Dang it. Um but yeah, so the Beatles was my first love obsession. In high school, I really got into going to the club. We had a dance club, so and Moby was the DJ. I know. I only went when it was at the tail end of Moby. He had already he was older than me and was already moving on to do other things, and all of his little proteges, all the people who learned how to spin with him and from him were all DJing when I was there. So anyway, and I used to love doing that, and that was all new wave, like uh Erasure, Depeche Mode, and New Order, and stuff like that, which was super fun and super cool. But after that, that's when I became obsessed with Jimmy Buffett. And when I became obsessed with Jimmy Buffett, I mean, I at that time only listened to Jimmy Buffett from the age of 18 until I was about 23, 22, 23. Because then as when I got introduced to Ella Fitzgerald. And I tended to and because I'm autistic, I focus on one thing at a time. So I got obsessed with her, and then I learned how to sing like her. I learned how to mimic her scats, sloppily, I might add. But I can follow them, and it's a lot of fun. Oh, my battery's gonna die. Okay, so now we have. Ah, let me see. All right, Dawn. I was hoping you were gonna be here this morning. Dawn, are you here this morning? Talk to me, Goose. Nope. Okay. All right. This. Who am I unplugging so I can plug this in? I don't think. Wah, wah. I have a limited number of plugs. The fan I am going to need, but I can plug that in over here. There we go. Now, I got power for my laptop. Hey, if anybody has suggestions on really good tablets, when I set up the studio, I'm going to be getting. I don't want just a regular television because I don't watch TV. So, but I want where the television mount is in the trailer, I was going to mount like an extra large tablet screen. I need the best screen I can get because this laptop screen stinks. It does not show off my photography the way I need it to so that I can paint from it. But yeah, if anybody's got a really good suggestion on a either small television or tablet, I kind of like the tablet idea because then I can also take it down and use it for editing and stuff. Yeah. I need to know. I need to know. I need to know. Because I'm tired of my on this laptop, you know, like it does weird things to the shadows that I don't want it doing. Part of it's digital photography, and there's not much I can do about that. All right, guys. It's hard to choose which image to paint from today. My friend was like, meditate on the 3 that you pick, and I fell asleep instead of meditating. Or should I do it like I originally thought and just go in order? But that's... Shit. Sorry, guys. My brain is frozen on decision-making process, and I suck at making decisions when it comes to stuff like that. Oh. The Roxy. Roxy. No, I learned from one obsession to another. Yeah, you know what? It's funny when I got really pissed off that I had to repay for all my music multiple times. Right? Like I was one of those people. So I bought records first, and then no one was making record players anymore, so I had all of the cassettes, and then I had all the CDs, and then they're like, get an MP3, get an iPod. Like, no, I refuse to pay again for my music. I was so upset, and it just has like been in my head. But a friend got me a subscription to YouTube Music. They put me on their friends and family plan. So I don't have ads on YouTube anymore either, which is super cool. But yeah, being able to listen to music, any music now, is pretty awesome. You know, lately I have been getting into throat singing, listening to Inuit throat singing. It's great for meditation and getting back in touch with the land. Walter Bishop? Ooh. I don't know who he was. I said that as if I knew who he was. I wanted to. I said it out loud, like if I say it out loud, maybe I'll recognize the name, but I didn't. I wanted to, though. I knew a lot of semi-famous musicians, too, though. It's funny because you never know who's going to know the obscure. That's pretty awesome. One of my favorite, I remember thinking like how wholesome the music was until I heard the song Everything I Got Belongs to You. And I love how Ella sings it with such a like sweet smile. You know, share for share, share alike. You get struck each time I strike. You for me for you. I'll give you plenty of nothing. I'm not yours for better, but for worse. And I learned to do a well-known witch's curse. I've a trick with a tongue, a temper for two, and everything I got belongs to you. All right. Woo! All right, I have to make a decision. Guys, I really have to make a decision. Oh, thank you. Oh, we played with Charlie Parker. Ooh, cool. Ugh. Yeah, I love to sing. But I also struggle with I suffer from horrific stage fright. Um and I've been able to perform when I have a guitar. I'm able to perform if I have a music stand with the words and the music on it. If I have to have a microphone, I can't hold the microphone. It's got to be in a stand. Um, yeah, but the last time I tried to sing in front of people, it just came out garbled. And I do better if like I don't have a microphone and like if I'm on the street corner, I know most of the people are ignoring me. So it's so much easier to perform in front of a bunch of people that are ignoring you and aren't there for you. You just happen to be there and they're there. But when it's like suddenly you're on a stage and there's a microphone and all the stuff, that's when the shit hits the fan for me. The guitar helps because it's something for me to do to take my focus and energy. Um, so that makes a huge difference. But I can't play guitar anymore until I can get something done about this. So, anyway, I always had a dream of being a lounge singer. I wanted to wear the slinky gown and drape across a piano singing sultry songs. That's what I wanted to do. I just don't have the yeah. Yeah, I was able to do it when I drank. I was able to do a lot of stuff when I drank, but I can't drink anymore. And I don't want to. It really sucks because booze is like the ultimate poison, and yet it's the one thing that completely annihilates that stage fright. And but I can never touch booze again. So because as obsessed as I got with music, that's how obsessed I got with booze, which almost killed me. So I'm here, and it's almost 11 years now that I have not had a drink. And yeah, my life is better than it's ever been because I'm the most authentic version of me today than I have ever been, except for maybe when I was like 2, 3 years old, right? Okay, I'm making a decision, guys. This is happening. I'm gonna do it. Oh God, why does it feel like I'm constipated? My brain feels like it's constipated. All right, shit. Shit. What am I picking? Gosh darn it. I have way too much yummy imagery of. Well, I think I'm going to try this. Download it. Because then I can download. I don't download images onto my computer until I've picked the ones that I'm going to paint. And then I download them. Because then I can work on them, you know, offline at any point in time. All right, so this is the image. So now we can get out of here. Boop, boop, be doop. Go here. And I can shut off my hotspot so I don't waste it. Downloads. Thank you very much. This is the one I would like, please. Open sesame. Oh. All right. I don't remember where this is, though. I'm pretty sure that I was still on the Olympic Peninsula, somewhere near Port Townsend. But this is the image. I know it's just terrible to try to see it on the. That's what I'm gonna try to paint today. Well, I'm gonna start it. I'm gonna get started on it. Oh, this can go away now. Woo! Choice has been made. I am recropping it, though. I do not like this. Maybe. Maybe we don't include so much of that beach. Okay. Anybody? Anything new? So let's see. And I just always try to remember like all the songs by heart. What is one of my favorites was I hear music, how faint the tune, somewhere there's music, how high the moon. Though the words may be wrong to this song, we hope you like high, 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 high is the moon. Boo-loo-lee, boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, boo-doo-doo-doo, boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, boo-doo-da-da-da-da-da, boo-doo-doo-doo-doo, boo-ba-ba-boo-be, ba-ba-ba-bee. Other words may be wrong to this song. High, 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 high is the moon. I appreciate you for hanging out until I got that settled. Yeah, my own fault. I forgot to put the fan on the phone to make sure that it didn't overheat. Which end is my... I think the microphone's on that side. I'm going to put the fan over here to keep it cool. Way back home in Idaho. I used to be able to hit that super high note at the top. I think it's like an A flat or an A sharp. Anyway, it's super high. No, I think it's even higher than that because it was way up in the whistle tone range. When I was a classical singer, my father did not approve of whistle tones. So, I must get me a fresh little... These are my... So far we have Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, and the Oregon coast. And that's what I have so far of this loop that I just finished. Well, I didn't just finish it. We're now almost a year since I left on it. Wow. Time flies. But it was a rough winter for me. I was not well. I got sick. I got a horrible, it was a flu type bug in December, and I was sick with that for a couple of weeks. Just took me out. It was rough. And then just recently got a bug. And this was after years of not being sick because I wasn't interacting with humans on a regular basis. Living in the van, I'll tell you what, for all those COVID, people who were worried about isolating for COVID, I found it very easy to do. I loved it. I was in here. I just went out into the middle of nowhere and enjoyed being isolated. All right. We starting this baby. Oh, I need to. Before I get all vertical, I need to put it down so I can tape it down first. No hairs on my paper. This is a 140 pound Canson watercolor paper. A friend gave me a pad of 18 by 24 paper. I have done 2 paintings now at that size. And then I bought a large piece, a 20, I think it's like 22 by 31 or something like that, of Arches cold press watercolor paper. And I did a big turtleback mountain here in Truth or Consequences. That is still available for anyone who would like to make a big purchase to help me keep moving forward and getting to do all the work that I need to do on this trailer to get it livable. It does have mold in it, and it has been very hard for me to work in that environment as far as like getting things out of there and stuff. I also need somebody to body double with. I'm really struggling. It's not a naturally fun task for me, so because of that, it's really hard for me to do. I know, I hear people out there who are like already saying the stuff, but if you're neurospicy like me, then you understand and you know exactly the struggles that I am in right now. And as far as I'm concerned, you guys are the only opinions that matter to me because you have the same lived experience as me. Or similar, right? Similar. Because, autism is a spectrum. Autism is a spectrum. And many of us have paid taxes our whole lives. I really don't like being infantilized or condescended to. And, yeah. My whole life, people were always like, wow, it's so amazing how positive you are and childlike in your approach to life, right? And then the second I find out I'm autistic, I am now childish to them. I went from being respected for my ability to let go and have a positive attitude to, oh, isn't she special? That's just messed up. Messed up. Yes, I have special needs. Yes, I need help. No, I cannot hold a traditional job. This is why I paint and sell my paintings. It is how I make a living. It is how I survive. I found something that brings me joy, also expands my knowledge. Right? And I am painting and writing a book at a very pivotal moment in the history of this nation. I started my journey in 2020, and it will be at least 2030 before I am ready to publish. I don't know. I feel like I overdid my borders on this one, but leave it alone, Marion. Don't be so picky. All right. Enough of that business. Let's see what I got here. I am going to manipulate this a little bit. I would like to crop it just a little bit more to see if... because this is definitely more horizontal. Ooh, did I just see a comment go by? Yeah, you know what? Masking, now that I understand what masking is, and that I was such a super hyper masker, and that I was so freaking good at it, that I thought that was my personality. Wow. Yeah. So when I started unmasking, and it started when I stopped drinking, which was back in 2014, but I didn't figure out I was autistic until 2.5 years ago, right? Like, so it's taken a long time. But the more I've been sober, the longer I'm sober, the longer I can see myself for who I am. I also have the benefit of getting to work with a coach, which is a huge privilege. They are free. I found them synchronistically, which was amazing. And yeah, so that has changed my existence. It's helped me really love and respect myself much more, for sure. There's got to be a way for me to crop it. Yeah, there it is, in here. I just want to crop you. I just want to crop you. How about if I do it like this? Oh, that kind of works, doesn't it? There it goes. And I'll bring you in a tiny bit over here. Because I don't think I need you. I think I need you to, like, be slightly chopped off. Because I want you to go off the page. And then bring up the bottom a little bit. Boop, boop, boopy doop. Because I think that's good. Huh. Okay. So, save. Save options. Save a copy. Save as a copy. Save as a copy. To my journey. No, I want it to go to... What are we calling this? Oh, crap. I gotta give it a name. Oops. No! Well, alright. I just saved this as Washington. I hit enter instead of backspace. Well, saving my misspellings. If I die before I finish this and everybody goes in and looks at my stuff, you will see just how dyslexic and horribly, yeah, I am. Okay. So now I have cropped said image, and now I'm going to shrink it down just a little bit to see. Yeah, actually, I think I need to squeeze you just a little bit more. That's good. Boop, boop, boop. Boop. Okay, I see what it wants me to do. Crop it one more time. I know, composing is like probably the most boring part for somebody who's watching me, but this is all part of my process. I got to go through this every single time I do a painting. Very rarely is it a straight shot for me. Have you where I want you. And we go shrink you down. So I cropped it a little bit. You might not be able to tell. But I did come in on it a little bit. I got rid of a little bit of that beachy foreground, that rock in the foreground, because really I want the focus to be this lovely driftwood stump. Which, if you've been to any of the beaches in Washington, you will see them. And then there's all these places where they have like, and same with Oregon, right? Like they have shelters on the beach that people have built from these driftwoods and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. It's super cool. Shrinky dink. No. All right. Okay, fine. I argue with my computer way too much. Where did I find the coach? Well, let's see. Wait, oops. Yeah, I met someone who knew somebody kind of a thing. I had been saying over and over again that I needed help. It's an autism center in Charleston, South Carolina. I started working with the coach. They were a intern to start, and that's why it was free, because I was working with an intern, and they had funding. My coach has said they will always work with me, which I'm so grateful for. I do not know if they are taking on any new people, but I know that the goal of this center is to help us build an adult autistic community that is super, super supportive. Dawn! Hey! Where were you earlier when I was trying to make a decision? Dang it. I was struggling. No. So this is what I landed on. This is... Dawn, do you know the location of this? Because I can't remember where it is, and I can't look it up right now because I have everything's occupied. This was on a little beach. Like, I went into a residential neighborhood, and I know it was near Port Townsend area somewhere, because it was a few days before I got on the ferry, so it was right around that general area. I went down into this residential neighborhood, and it was just like 2 or 3 spots, and the parking was like this. And you walked down this little path, and it took you down, but it was all very gardeny and well taken care of and all sorts of stuff. But yeah, so that's what I'm working on. That's what I'm gonna start to work on. I'm actually being really annoying because I am nervous Every time I start a new painting, I get nervous. I go through this every single time. Without fail. Alright, how did I... Oh, hello. Anthony, that one's for you. Actually, Ancient Carbon Maps is usually the one who's looking for belches. And I didn't see you this morning, my Florida friend. Okay, so I am going to start blocking this out. What I don't like and what is bothering me is that tree line kind of splits this composition vertically. I don't like that. How do I fix it? Is it the shot I chose? Dang it. All right, let's see. I have to crop again because this is not... Something's not right. It's the way the trees are splitting it vertically that I don't like. I don't have to include them all. I can let that be not, and just have those trees be, and leave that open so there's some sky on the other side. That might help. Ooh, windy. Ooh, the wind just seriously kicked up. Holy cow. I got jostled just then. All right. All right. All right, I'm gonna go for it. Just go for it, Marion. Just go for it. Who am I using for my underpainting? There you are. Let's see if I... So you're gonna go... There's a little mountain. La 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 la. And tree. It's gonna come down here. That? Or should I bring it more? What is bothering me about this composition? I can't figure it out. It's driving me nuts. Something is really bugging me about it. All right, let's turn this so you can see my paper. All right. I gotta clean something here because I don't have any room to mix. So yeah, I worked with the Prussian blue for the first time on the Idaho painting. I used it in the sky. Very granular. It dries super duper fast. It is super duper staining, and it is not an opaque color. It is very transparent. So it does mix to it did mix to some of these nice colors here. So this was the Prussian blue, and I mixed like this lavender using quinacridone magenta down here in the corner. So, yeah. But I didn't like it as much as I like working with my anthracnone blue, which is a watercolor. All right. Anyway, I'm digressing. No, I'm not. I'm actually talking about what I'm supposed to be talking about, which is art. No, I'm not supposed to be talking about anything. I do me. Period. All right, let's get rid of this little section right here. Sad but true, I must get rid of you. Oh, there's a lot of permanent white under here. This is not the place to do the mixing. I guess I don't have a choice. I gotta get rid of all this over here. Yeah, permanent white I use when I want to make grays. And yeah, I will probably be using it quite a bit in making this driftwood stump. Um, because of the opacity it provides, but also because it dominates the mix. So zinc white is more about allowing the colors to shine through, allowing like your colors that you mixed with to shine through more. Gosh, I didn't realize how much I had down here. I hate wasting pigment. This is why I want like multiple mixing trays so that I can leave a lot of these intact, because some of these mixes are really good, and then I'm really upset that I had to make them go away in order to make space. I don't like it. But the time will come, the time will come, the time will come. I can be patient. I can be. It is possible. I have this in me. I know I can be patient. Where is this Frenchman? I do not know. The Frenchman who lives within. Every once in a while, he pops out. And he's not very French. He's more American than French. Ooh. I have a little rainbow on my. I didn't even mean to do it. And I need a clean space here, please. Alright, I think I got it all up. It's hard not having running water. I am looking forward to running water. Alright, purple. I want my purple. Going back to my original purple mix that I love so much, which is way more earthy. And it is the permanent alizarin crimson mixed with anthracnone blue. And yeah, it just makes for it's more of a brown purple rather than a pinky purple, if that makes sense. And I like it for underpainting because it's very earthy. Because it's earthy. I like the earthy colors for my underpaintings because they're earthy. And now I'm making a mess in my oopies. Yeah, that's okay. I am going to have to mix more of this soon. It goes very far. So I saw recently, because I'm part of a gouache page on Facebook. I don't comment on it often because I don't usually have anything to add to what people have already said in the comments. But somebody mentioned how small the gouache tubes are. Here's why gouache tubes are so small. They are pigment dense, like super pigment dense. You can paint opaque, but then you can thin them out and make them go forever and ever and ever. You can paint in layers. I have had, I mean, the tubes of paint that I go through the most are like my Perlene Black. I go through a lot of that because I do like to use that fresh out of the tube and thick in a lot of cases. Um, my cadmium yellow and but mostly my cadmium lemon yellow is the one that I go through the most. Um, zinc white because it's a mixing it's mixing paint, and I'm always squeezing fresh out. I don't like to use it dry. I like to use it fresh for mixing. Um, because that's how I reconstitute some of my pigments, right? Like I'm desaturating them a little, yeah, but the whole point of that is to create background, right? You want to desaturate the background. Anyway, I's just babbling on. But yeah, gouache, you working with gouache, you eventually learn that you do not need as much as you think you need. That's the bottom line. You do not need as much as you think you need, because what you put down will go far. This is why they're expensive and small. They're tiny and mighty. Yeah. That's it. All right. Oh my God, I am so procrastinating this. All right. Come on, Marion. You can do this. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Start making. Don't disappear on me now. I need you. Thank you. I really hate when my screen does that. What I'm doing is marking in the heavy lines and shadows. And then also making sure that's where my tree is going to go. I didn't really want to do that yet. I really want to do the sky first. Shit. All right. This is what happens sometimes when I get ahead of myself. But I can, I hope. Oh, no. No, I can't. Because I went super transparent and boom. Now I've done it to myself. I'm just trying to fade this line out because I still haven't done the sky yet. And now, all right. That's okay. It'll dry in a few minutes. And I took too much off my brush. All right, I need a fresh blotting rag because this is too wet. It's not doing anything for me. This is woo. Okay, here we go. Some more purple. You can see I'm just faintly scratching in the shape, the outline of this stump. It's here. It's going to come. Where my brush? The idea is just to rough sketch it and block it in. About right. There's a little like heart-shaped almost opening in here. Just want to make sure that opening stays an opening. And this is going to get redirected. See, I knew that wasn't going to be staying forever. But at least this way now I know simply this is beach, stump, water, sky, and impending phallic tree. Because now that's all I can think about. My 12-year-old is fully active up there. Ooh, I still have some coffee. All right. So now I am. This is dry enough for me to go. Yeah, it is. Okay. So we are going to put sky behind the trees, but not too much. I think I'm going to stop it like here. So this is going to be sky, 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 sky. You need a little sky behind and under here because it's got to peek through. Okay. Here we go. Ready? No, you know what? I'm going to use the bigger brush. I'm going to use a bigger brush. I am going to go for my big fatty because I want fast, quick coverage. And I have a better chance of accomplishing that. Okay, stop it. I know, I'm freaking out for no good reason. I do this every single time. Even though I can always just throw it out when I'm finished. I know. It doesn't have to be. So right now I'm just putting water on the paper. Ooh, hey. Where'd all those little fuzzy hairs come from? Little shits. You aren't welcome. So I'm just wetting this whole area where I want the sky to be blue. Oopies. And I have reactivated my horizon. Normally, I would do this upside down. However, there's a lot of hair on this. Do I have enough? Let's more water on this. Because I want you to be more like... There's my cerulean. Alright. I have a mix on here, and I like it to be somewhat blotchy because I find it works out super much better. So I'm going to come in. As fast as I can with this. Come on, buddy. Give me some more. So on my palette, I have a mix of cerulean and ultramarine, and then a little bit of cobalt turquoise. What I'm doing right now is just making sure I've got coverage. And then we also need it to be the water. Now I'm going to go in. Ooh. I think I need some fresh, maybe. I know, it looks super sloppy at the moment. It is not going to stay that way. Layers. So the reason I really like to work in layers with wash is because I don't like it to look like a solid illustration. I want it to have the fine art quality of an oil painting, right? And so I use similar kind of concepts and ideas while I'm painting. And I may still add, and I think I'm going to in just a minute. As soon as I pull out my zinc white, you will see what happens to this blue mix that I've got going on here. And I do need more. Wah! I thought I had enough on here. It's okay. This is the beautiful thing about gouache. It may dry quickly, but it also reactivates. Although this shouldn't dry that fast because I'm not going that slow. Alright, we want just you. I want cerulean. And a little bit of that cobalt turquoise. I'm going to put you over here in this little well. I can just dab at you. This is a new color for me, and I'm really stoked about it. I like it a lot. And I don't like to use paint just straight out of the tube. I like mixing shit. So, this is, I've used ultramarine. I think I already said that, but I'll say it again. I make a mix of ultramarine, cerulean, and this. Now I am including this cobalt turquoise light, I think it is, right? Yes. Oh, there we go. So now I can just take a little bit of this ultramarine, mixing it over here. We need a little more water. A little more water on that brush. There we go. There you are. Wow. What a difference. What a difference. Oopsie daisy. So the paper is cockling from the water, which is to be expected. So I don't need to go all out behind here. I just need it to be enough that behind the trees you see sky. So let's go a little bit more. And then I'm going to start adding a little bit more of that. Ooh, that was a lot of that. I didn't mean to put that much in there. So I am going heavy at the top, right? Because I'm about to do something in a second, which might make all of you go, ah! But this is the gouache process. This is how I work. I'm just getting coverage on here so we're not blotchy. There we go. All right. Layer 1 of the sky is down. Now, I'm going to clean my brush. I'm cleaning the brush, and now I am going to add zinc white. This is where I super duper miss having running water. I have so much paint in the base of this brush, and it needs to be sticker. Right, is that better? That's a little bit better. All right. And you gotta clean them right away, otherwise you don't have nice brushes no more. You know what I'm saying? All right, a little bit of zinc white. You need a little bit of zinc white. Where are we gonna put you? Yeah. So you don't get in the way. I need a little place for you. My zinc white. I need you. All right, stop singing to your paints. Let's see. Seriously, people, I need more mixing trays. I hate this. This is the only part I do not like, is that I am constantly feeling like I am wasting pigment when I cannot save my mixes. Man. But I'm also like a sloppy mixer. Whatever. It's my process. And I don't care what anybody thinks about that, because it's really just about how I finish. No, it is the process. I know that. That's my curiosity. I love process. All right. This box, this is what my gouache brushes came in. These are the Sarah Burns Studio gouache made by Craftamo. I know it's backwards or whatever. I don't know if it is or not. Maybe my camera turns it around. But isn't that pretty? Anyway. I love her gouache brushes. They are amazeballs for sure. Wow. I never say that word. Where did that come from? I don't know. They're amazing, is what they are. Channeling my inner tween, I guess. All right, let's see. Let me grab some of my zinc white. So now I grab the zinc white. I really wish I was doing this upside down, quite honestly. And you know what? I'm not going to do it. All right. I'm like, you know what? No, I'm not going to do it. All right, let's see what we got. Ready, set, take a deep breath, and go. I don't want all that water on this brush. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. All right. So now what I'm doing is desaturating, also creating the light. No, cancel. Don't do that. The transition of light into the deeper part of the sky from the horizon, right? Where we have a much lighter portion of. All right. So now that I've got that, I'm going to now just use water, careful application of water, mind you, to blend this up into the sky. And you will see as I go, well, all sort of you'll see it. Maybe you won't see it a lot, but oh, that was a big heavy piece of something there. I'm glad I got it out. All right, here we go. What I see happening is that the white, the zinc white, is blending into the blue beautifully and creating a more natural looking sky rather than having it be too solid. So this is also pulling off some of the paint that I originally put down, but now I'm going to drag some color back through the top. Got off most of it. Now I can. And this is actually a process I much prefer to do flat. Let's get some more zinc white on my brush. Now, I'm going to pull this a little closer to me because I need control. Control! Well, that light won't do darn tootin' thing for me. Think I'm a little concerned that this top is a little thick, but I think I've got it well blended. So this has to still dry because the dry shift is the drying shift. So I will not know what this is going to look like until it's dry. Ah! Right? Isn't that a slightly frustrating? All right, and the water. All right, let's just give us a, we're going to go in here like this. Straighten out this line a little bit. So you see how the underpainting is really just a guide. But it does provide a certain amount of something. Why are you going downhill? I don't want you to go downhill like that. I need you to go straight across for me. Thank you. All right. Now, there is going to be another layer on that sky. But it has to wait for everything to fully dry. So I am truly just blocking in. So now for the water, I'm going to add in a little bit more of that cobalt light. Because my memory of the water in Washington and Oregon is that there is a lot of this wonderful turquoisey, bluey, green quality to it. It's minerals, right? It's all that I could probably stand to switch brushes at this point, but I'm not. So now I'm going to dip into my cerulean. Make it more. So one of the things, I mean, I love this Canson paper. I do, but I do not necessarily love it for my process. I do a lot of wetting and re-wetting and then going back over it again, and it doesn't always like it because it gets quite pilly. And then I have to like oh, oh, shit. Well, I'm doing it. I gotta get that initial shed off because it's getting pilly. I'm not happy with the pilliness. It's now on my brush. Boo! Oh, maybe Sequim. You're right. Or Sequim. How do you say it? Oh, God, you can't tell me. Unless you can spell it phonetically. I think so. I feel like it is on the Salish. Salish, Sequim. This is so inappropriate. I know, right? I'm just such a horribly inappropriate person. So I have this thing. Everybody's always like, why do you call yourself the inappropriate artist? You're not inappropriate. No, I'm not. But here's the deal. My whole life, I was told I was. I was told what I wanted to do for a living was not an appropriate way to make a living. It's a hobby, not a job. I was told my belching, my language, my just the way I hold myself was inappropriate, right? I was raised Catholic. And in an extremely privileged community. And let me tell you something. Nobody should grow up like that. I have to say. It really messes you up. You don't have a proper gauge on what the world is like. It was a lot of learning for me. But yeah, so I was just always told I was inappropriate. And then toward the end, when I was working behind the register in the grocery store, my filter was completely broken. So like, you know, you gotta say things so you don't offend anybody. But things would come out of my mouth backwards. And so they would sound inappropriate because of that. Or I would, like, once I scanned a loaf of bread and sang a love song by Bread to a customer who did not know the band and was, like, truly freaked out and thought I was a creeper. So that is why I'm the inappropriate artist. I make inappropriate decisions according to society, not according to me. It was a running joke. I love the name of the channel because it is so easy for me to just say it and it feels good for me to say it. And also, like, everybody remembers it. So it's going to stay. I was going to change it once upon a time. I went through this whole thing of, like, I'm going to change the name of the channel, blah, blah, blah. No, I am very happy with the Inappropriate Artist. Now, when I do my website, that's going to be Marion Stroh, right, as an artist. And then there will be, has YouTube channel called The Inappropriate Artist, blah, 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 right? So it will become more of a name of the programming rather than me as a person. Inappropriate because sometimes I was trespassing when I caught some of these images, right? Sometimes trying super hard to not be too. All right, stop playing with the water, Marion. All right. I might have to just let this all dry now because this paper is so wet and sheddy. East not okay, but you know what I will do before I do that? Let me put a little bit of a pinky. Do I have one? No! All right, we're gonna make one. Yeah. So just a tiny bit of permanent alizarin crimson. And zinc white together. I'm gonna just throw a base on this water, on this beach. Excuse me, not on the water, on the beach. Because this pinky cast is sort of on the rocks or in the shadows, right? We're gonna have lots of pebbles in this area. And what else? A lot of this is just gonna get painted over, but I find if I spend time working on my background, now taking this super deep purple, right, that I have, let's get this drier. Dude. This is too wet. Let's hang it. I do that occasionally. I will just, if my paper towel gets too wet, I'll just dry it and then I can reuse it again to use as just at least a blotter, right? Um, to get water off the base of the brush. Because that's what I'm doing here now. And I want to get some shadows. Sort of, kind of, not too dark though. Get some of that off. I just want it to be like super subtle. That's kind of dark. I didn't really want it that dark. Remember, darks, dry, lighter. Lights, dry, darker. I'm saying that to remind myself right now because I'm like, I am not having the effect I wanted. Because I always start out with less, because less is more in this process, seriously, when layering, creating the beach, the rocky beach texture, because this is not a sandy beach. All right, let that dry, because that's my base, and that has to dry. I think I have to stop here. And get some of this out. Leave it be until you are ready. Okay. Yes, I have to stop here because I'm starting to trash the paper. So begins Washington. I know, but you're seeing this is the underpainting. This is the process. So this has got to dry. And let that dry. And this is the... What time is it? Wow, it's exactly 10 o'clock. I did pretty darn good. I'm proud of myself. This was... The only thing I forgot to do was to put the fan on the phone, but you all came back for me. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody who's joined me today. Does she? A song called Bread? Well, I was thinking of I Would Give Everything I Own by the band Bread. Yeah. That was an awkward moment. The poor kid. My manager was behind me going, "No, Marion, no. No, Marion, no." Trying to stop me, but I could not stop the song. And I got to that last part of the song where it says, "Just to touch you once again." And the guy is just looking at me totally freaked out. And I don't blame him. But I had to sing. I started from from I would give everything I own. Give up my life, my heart, my home. I would give everything I own just to have you back again. Just to touch you once again. Yeah, awkward moment. Yeah, I was. Most of the customers found me fun. My employer did not like me. My employer had a real problem with me because the customers really liked me and I was always helping the customer, which meant I wasn't always helping the owner. The owner was irresponsible. The owner was irresponsible about a lot of things. And there's a reason why that particular business is not doing as well as it used to do because they were very dishonest. They placed all this importance on making sure to buy from companies, to purchase from companies that had good practices for their employees. And yet, we got treated like cattle. Yeah, I'm a people. So here's the thing, I actually like people are a special interest. But I do love to meet new people because every time I meet a new person, I gain more information about the human condition. I know it's super creepy. It's not creepy. It's just my special interest. And it's why it also wears me out so much because I'm like super into it and then I'm like burnt out. But yeah, I am a people person in that I'm very interested in meeting new people and learning new things all the time. And I feel like when you meet people, that's how it happens. When you meet new people. Also, traveling to different parts of the country so that I meet people from all walks of life. And I really love that. Um, yeah. No, I was definitely the person. I was the cashier who gave space to the customer. When the old lady came in my line and she wanted to count out the change, I rested myself and told her to take her time. And I just finished bagging up their stuff and just waited for them to do what they were going to do. And if the customer behind them was getting pushy, I looked for an open cashier and suggested they move because I was not going to rush the elderly person in front of me who had exact change. So I was that cashier. But I was also the cashier who would growl at people who came up to help me bag because I had an organization process. And if you touched and messed up my organization, I was not a happy camper. Yeah, I didn't get in trouble, but I did get spoken to. I got told by a manager that I scared one of the new employees because I growled at them, and I didn't realize I growled. Like it's such an unconscious thing for me to do. You know what? It's capitalism that doesn't appreciate good people, not the world. Capitalism doesn't appreciate good people. Let's remember, this capitalistic society has taken over the entire planet. I mean, granted, there are pockets that have avoided it. Good for them. Um, but it's the capitalist society that doesn't have room for us. And that's okay. Because guess what? It turns out we're finding out with the more we keep talking about our neurodivergence, the more we're finding out we ain't so divergent. We might be more the typical, and it might be the others who pushed us down so they could maintain monetary control. That's what I think. And this world has gotten super duper fast for those of us who have, I mean, I enjoy the fast pacedness of some things. For my ADHD, it gets super happy, but my autistic self needs things to slow down and pace, and so that I can process. Um, and I'll tell you what, this world is exhausting. The way it is, this capitalist society is exhausting. But when I pull myself out of it, and I am on the outskirts, and I am just meeting people to have people time and get to know somebody's stories, what they have to share. And in those moments, there's plenty of room for people like me, right? The OG with change. You were the original? The OG with change, extremely exhausting. Yes, extremely exhausting. What do you mean, Don? What change? Curiosity has me piqued. What change are you discussing? I would like to know. Mm. I have learned I can turn off the world. I am not obligated to run at the world's pace. That is a lie. We have all been, you know, basically conditioned to believe. We do not have to keep up with this crazy pace. And as a matter of fact, the more of us that put our feet on the brakes to slow it down, the more impact we're going to have. And we can slow down our existence so that we can enjoy our time. I am not a more. I mean, I have the disease of more. This I know. But it doesn't, thank goodness, it's not attached to the material world. Like, there are things that I need in order to do the things that I do, but I don't have to have 8 rooms in my house to do whatever. You know what I mean? Like, just give me a couple rooms to organize myself in, and I'm good. I don't need that much space. And honestly, the more space I have, sometimes, like, if it's too big, I can get lost in my own space. So like when I had moved my frame shop into my garage at one point, and I got to tell you that in the garage I worked on larger pieces than I ever worked on in the gallery space where I had the space. Isn't that wild? But I made it such a productive setup that I could work on these huge pieces in that space. And so when I build out the trailer to accommodate me, that is going to be as big as I need to get, really, except for the extended space for oil painting, because I don't want Nugget to be around the toxic fumes of the oil paint and stuff. And I am going to be sleeping in that space, so I don't want oil paint in that space because I can't sleep with oils. I can't. Yeah. So, but it's gonna be minimal. That's just me. I'm a minimal. I am at heart a true minimalist. Too much stuff is too much stuff to keep track of. All right. Yeah, this needs lots of time to dry, so I'm gonna let it do that, and I think I'm gonna OG is old guy trying to empty my pockets. I love it. Well done. Then you're my kind of guy for sure. I'm like, I take my time in line and I piss people off that are behind me. But usually when I go in, original gangsta, yeah. Um, like if I'm a customer in line now, I make a point of sort of being a little bit slow to give the cashier a break. And I ask them questions and I engage them and I try to um I just do what I do, which is bring joy to the table, and I giggle at myself and make silly jokes about what just happened to me in the store. And usually I'm doing that for the purpose of giving them a moment of fun at work, because I was that person behind the register and I needed that. When people like that came into my line, it was such a joy to get to work with people who wanted to have fun, even just doing the mundane. My employer did not like the fact that I like to have fun doing the mundane. On Tuesdays, which was Senior Tuesday, I had the longest line, and it wasn't because I was slow. It was because I engaged and treated each one of my customers who came in as a dear friend who I have missed. And I haven't seen them since the last time they did their shopping. And I need to catch up with them. And they come in for like big shops. So it's not like I scan productively, I move through, I get it all done, get it all bagged, but I have also managed in that process to have my customer feel like a human being existing on the planet, not just money passing through my line. Because that makes me upset. I don't like that. I want to be treated like a beautiful human being, and so I treat others like beautiful human beings, because guess what? That's exactly what we all are. It's really not that complicated. It's just not that complicated. And if you've worked in retail at all or customer service at all with an open mind, it can be such an enriching job. I can no longer do it because I don't have the energy for it anymore. I also don't have the filter. Because if someone starts yelling at me, I'm going to tell them to fuck off and stop pissing on my parade. I am. Well, it's like, yeah, I can't. If someone starts, that was part of the problem, is I wasn't dealing well with the angry people in my line, and I was coming out with some seriously snarky comments, and they were getting picked up and by others, and yeah, I was not promoted the way I needed to be promoted to be able to make a living at that job, so that's why I quit it. Because I realized, like, I started at the beginning, and I thought that I was told that I could grow there. No, they didn't want me to grow. They wanted me to be the adult in the front end without paying me to be the adult in the front end. You're the person at work we call the free psychiatrist, because people. Yes! Yep. That was me. That was me. That was definitely me. And no matter what job I was in, like, there was a sign on my back that said, please come, tell me everything about you. Because I'll listen. And I will actually care about what you're saying for the most part. I mean, unless you're just sitting bitching, moaning, and whining about something you've already told me about and I already helped you find solutions and you're still not doing it, then I can't help you. Right? Like, I don't have patience for that. If people want help, they want help. If they don't, they don't. So that's why, like, I prefer to meet people briefly, have a wonderful interaction, and then, whoo, they can take the gems if they want them. Because I'm going to take the gems they gave me and go with that. I don't take the crap, I just take the gems. I listened to this awesome, your device is at risk of being out of date. It will need to restart to install updates. Yeah, but I don't have wireless. Yeah. All right. I am going to have to find a wireless spot. I know. I got a big mouth. Sometimes I get myself in trouble. I have learned, though, now boundaries, right? Like, I used to let everybody tell me everything all the time, and now I have learned to say, hey, you know what? Let's take a break. I'm going to go take an hour and have a brain. Let's get back to this topic either later on today or tomorrow. Let's take a break from it. Um, I've learned to do that. So I can't always do that with a stranger, but with people I know, I'm very happy to do that. And I'm finding more and more people are willing to respect it. It's kind of cool. Advocating for myself is something that has always been difficult, but I'm learning how to do it. And honestly, I'm also learning, because as an autistic, I was always looking for guides, people to show me how to behave, how to be, how to do, because I was always, what I was doing was considered wrong. So help me not do it wrong, right? So I was always looking to the adults to help me get in a lot of trouble that way. And so it made me look like a people pleaser. When in actuality, I was just super trying to learn how to exist without people getting angry at me for doing things wrong. Because the level of anger that I dealt with for people who did not have patience for me was outrageous. You know. And I do. I take issue with authority figures who do not, who like I went through TSA. They manhandled me. It was an extremely traumatic experience to the point where I am doing my best to never fly again unless I can get around TSA. If I can't, then I'm not getting on a plane. I'm just not doing it. Because I don't need people coming at me with their hands the way that they came at me. And I don't care. It was so disrespectful. I was going into full meltdown and they saw it and continued. Instead of like stopping and like backing off, the whole crowd of them came in on me. They handled the whole situation so wrong. And then when they sent the two women to walk me to the plane because they saw me as a danger, meanwhile, they're the ones who put me into that state. She then told me she had a disabled daughter with special needs. And then I said, well, then shame on you. Shame on you for letting this continue to happen. Shame on you. It is your job to be the one to step in and speak up and say, hey, I recognize that this is a person with special needs. You don't have to be so hard on them. Back up. Relax. Chill out. Because the more aggressive you are, the more horrible it is, and the more it escalates the situation. No, they are not. They are only trained to fight. You are correct. But here's the beautiful side of that story. As soon as I got on the plane, the flight attendant took one look that was told ahead because somebody went ahead to say they had a trouble passenger coming on board. Me, I was the trouble passenger. Assholes. So I go up the plank and I see this amazing, beautiful, compassionate flight attendant in front of me. And they say, is there anything I can do to assist you to make this a good flight for you? And I said, how about some orange juice? And they were like, yeah, no problem. And they poured me a cup of orange juice. And I went to go take it to my seat. And he said, no, stay here. Relax. Take a beat. We're not in a rush. That's how you de-escalate. That's how you take someone who has had all of their fears realized in a moment with all of these hands coming at you. It was extremely terrifying and traumatic for me. And so and it has only gotten worse the older I've gotten because I no longer mask. And I'm sorry, on no uncertain terms, is it ever comfortable for someone to put their hands between your legs when it is not your request? They don't care about consent. There's no consent. Consent? Fuck consent. Excuse me. Woo! Wow. Obviously, I don't like having my autonomy threatened. Because it really triggers my woo. Sorry, guys. I will de-escalate that myself. I appreciate all of you for coming in today and hanging out with me this morning. I will be working on this week. I will take pictures along the way, video. If it's finished by next week, then it's finished by next week. If not, it's not. And I'll work on it. So there is a lot going on in this one, so I might be taking my time on it. Yeah. Oh, Maud, I know you get me. I know you get me. I think it's amazing that for as often as, I have rarely had authority make me feel comfortable. Normally, when I am authority figures come at me, it's always in a super not good way. Although I have to say, like, it's slowly changing. There are, for instance, I've encountered a couple doctors recently who've been really awesome. I've been able to go in and say, I'm autistic. I need you to hear me and listen to me, because up until this point, I've been told I'm a liar. And so I need to be able to express the physical issues I'm having without being called a liar. And this doctor I have has been absolutely amazing. She tested for almost all the things, most of them, as far as she could go with the insurance, right? Because I can't afford to pay for extras, so it's got to be under the insurance. But yeah, so far she's been pretty awesome. I'm really grateful that I have found a good doctor. But also, like, I had my coach helped me research which doctors to pick. Because I don't have the patience for it. I don't do well researching doctors and things like that. But she helped me. We went through, we read the reviews. And that was a big thing, reading how people felt and how they felt they were treated by said medical expert. And that made a difference. And I will say this person is definitely listening to me, and they got me an appointment with a rheumatologist, which is the furthest I've ever gotten with a doctor as far as my hands are concerned. So, isn't that amazing? I mean, I was a laborer, and I did hand work. I mean, everything I did was about, for picture framing, was about having the ability to use my hands. But the second I needed help, boy, didn't they all just run. No one wanted to help me. It's all imaginary. It's all in my head. Yada, yada, yada. So, when I, it's funny because I'm thinking to myself, gosh, boy, is it going to be hard to get disability? Well, now it looks like it's going to be almost impossible. Oh, thank you, Anthony. It's so good to see you. I appreciate that, Dawn. You know what? I realize I'm lovable, but I also find that I can be truly annoying to a lot of people too. I have over info dumped on people before, and it's not a superpower. I don't. It's not. All right. It is time for me to get on with my day. So I appreciate all of you for joining me today. Even though, like, I didn't get much done on here, and it was more of a chit-chat day. But hey, that's one of the reasons I'm doing these lives, so I can get to know you guys too. I want to know who's watching. Oh, I'm trying to, like, get my comments back up again so I can read, see if I missed anything. I don't think I did. Maud, you know what? The day will come. I promise. Just keep requesting it of your higher power. Put it out there. I don't, I for manifesting, I manifested this person, through my requests, constantly looking very specifically. I remember I had someone very specifically ask me, oh, thank you. And thank you, Maud. I specifically said I need an administrator. I need help. I need someone to help me with this executive dysfunction. I don't understand what's happening in my brain, and I need to understand it. And eventually I got what I needed. It's not always that simple. But hey, you know what? I will I will ask my coach. I will ask my coach if they have any openings and if there's anybody I can recommend. Because I would love to pass that information on for somebody else. Yeah, I'm on Medicaid, so it's insurance, but not. It's enough for me to get some of the things that I need, but not all the things that I need. But it's more than I've ever gotten because I never had any insurance and I didn't know I had access to Medicaid until I found out that I did. It's just one of those things. All right, it's time for me to get moving. All right, everybody. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you so much for being with me this morning. I'm loving getting to know you guys. Thank you so much for coming and joining me and chatting with me and being with me while I paint. You guys are keeping me moving forward with these painting sessions on Sunday morning. Oh, that sucks. I know. Bye, Tony. Anthony. Do you prefer Anthony or Tony? I shouldn't shorten your name without your permission. You have a great day too, Maud. We have to talk soon. Bye, everybody. Boop, doop, doop. Ant. Oh. Ant. Okay, Ant. I will remember. See you guys next time.